Well, we're a week away. We're 1 week of fucking away. And we're going to do my final selections. We're going to run down through the main races as well as what I've done the last time. This time it's going to be one video. I'm not arsed breaking it up. Just to keep it all together. And instead of you watching more videos, just so it's easier for you to watch. I know it'll be long or whatever, but skip through the bits you don't want to watch. You don't want to listen to. And sure, look, let's get straight into it. We're going to start off with the Supreme. I mean, this is so competitive. So competitive. I'd advise you, unless you've backed something already, probably best off just to watch it. You know, listen to the roar and listen to fucking whatever ever ghost shites are talking shit about the race. Like, I'll dance. For me, my selection is Fakir Duderies. Just because his form at Cheltenham, with like that race, was very, very impressive. Very impressive. Al Dancer has done nothing wrong, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not dissing anyone here. But just in terms of selection, I don't really have a big opinion on this race. It's too competitive for me. I don't find any value in the race. I could see, like, Classical Dream at 8-1. You're probably going to go for the Ballymore reading the stable tour, and I get in a sense now that he's going for the Ballymore, and he has a great chance at the Ballymore. But Araman, if they go fucking 90 miles an hour, maybe he might pick it up at the end. But I can't. To beat Al Dancer, Fakir Duderies. I know Angel's Breath, when he was beaten and he fucked off out to like 12-1 or something, he's gone right back in. There's no confidence lost in him whatsoever. Elixir the Nuts still has a chance, you know. Yeah, I'd advise you to stay away from the race just because the competitive ways of it. And for me, Fakir Duderies. But in terms of, I'll give you a rating out of 10 of how confident I'd be in my selection. I'd give it a 6. I'm not too concerned about the race. We'll move on to the Arkle. Look, in terms of, or we'll just go back. I'll give you my selection and an each way alternative. And an each way alternative for me is Araman at 10-1. So to count the bets for the Supreme, I'm going to go with Fakir Duderies to win and Araman each way. Don't hold me to that. It's not. I haven't really gone into it. It's too competitive. Looking at the Arkle now, right? You have Defi Decide now a favourite at 5-2. I'm looking at just one bookmaker. So look, in terms of shop around for your prices, make sure you shop around. What's the point in getting a 3-1 shot when you can get a 4-1? Why would you bother? Defi Decide 5-2. Layler 11-4. Glen Forest 7-2. Other than that, I know this Ornua is there's a bit of talk about it. I've been looking at a few Cheltenham preview nights and they've been coming back with Ornua, but I looked at its form and it's decent. It's decent, don't get me wrong, but to be winning an Arkle is a bit too much. Considering you have Layler, who absolutely smoked the field in Cheltenham previous, and Glen Forster, who absolutely smoked Kalashnikov. I know I've used the word smoked twice and I've never used the word smoked, but that just came into my head. In terms of winner, I go with Layler because I think he will win it. Glen Forster has the chance to go to JLT as well. Maybe it might go into his hands if they do go very hard. I know Layler came off a strong pace when he won in Cheltenham, but considering Glen Forster can stay further up the hill and with a strong pace, it will test the stayer in the horse. Maybe Duke de Geneva is a bit short for me, and Defi Decide I hope goes to the JLT. In terms of an each way selection, I'll go Kalashnikov just because I know he's going to go there and he might be a different horse going into Cheltenham, but I'm not confident at all. My selection is Layler, and to rate it out of 10, I'd give it an 8 because I think he beat Defi Decide, considering he beat him the last time in Cheltenham. And Glen Forster, we don't know if he goes to JLT or if he comes here. And if he comes here, he still has a good chance. For me, if I was to rate his chances, if he showed up and Layler, I'd give them both 8s. But just with the Cheltenham form, it's very good. Maybe Glen Forster was a fluke, or not a fluke, but maybe he just got his maximum effort that day against Kalashnikov on the ground and the course and just the small field and everything. Maybe, but he can easily win it. Yeah, so just Layler is my selection, and Kalashnikov is the each way selection. Right, we're on to the champion hurdle, right? So far we've gone through the Supreme, gone through the Arkle, and then you're whacking into the champion hurdle. The day one is the best. But how could it not be the best? You still have the mare's hurdle to go to. Then for me now, looking at the prices here, you have Appleshade and Belvedere. The firm I'm looking at, they're both 15 to 8 and Arena is 7 to 2. Like, what more can you want? This is the race of the week. Has to be. Has to be. You have the defending champion going for 3 against an absolute machine of a mare in Appleshade. And then you have Lorena, who we don't know what the fuck to make of her. Don't know what to make of her. She could be better than both of these, or she could be just a chaser in the making, or once further. Jess, I can't. You can make a list. You can make books on their chances of winning it and how strong the form is and all this, and then you can have a book on the other side and say they won't win it. They won't win it. For me, I'm going down every week. I'm coming closer and closer to Appleshade. At the start of it, I was with Lorena, but now I'm going with Appleshade. I think Appleshade will win it. Belvedere has every chance. Lorena has every chance. But for me, Appleshade, I know her form isn't the greatest at Cheltenham, but I think it's 1 in 3 or 1 in 4. Yeah, I think it's 1 in 3. She won a mares, lost a mares, and lost a Triumph hurdle. I think that's just going off my head, but like, she beat Froome Mag. She beat Limini. I know Limini's gone to shite now, but that race, and just her run in Leopardstown, Jesus boys, how can you not be impressed by that? Lorena, she could be a machine, and Belvedere is a very, very good horse. I can't wait for this race. I can't wait. Just let it fucking be tomorrow. Fuck the week. Just change it up. Put it on today. Tomorrow now. That'd be right. Yeah. So in terms of an each way, I think there's Esport Allen. I'm looking at 16 to 1, but you'd want something. It was something to fall or something for him to have a chance at all. Really. Yeah. Look, we're going on now. We're going to the mares. There's only one horse. And that's Benny de Dieu. I would advise, if you're just in case, that they actually do change Lorena and put her into this. I like 5 to 4 looks a decent enough price. Considering if Benny de Dieu doesn't go, if Benny de Dieu does not go, and they change Lorena here, Jesus, 5 to 4 looks amazing. For me, I think it's Benny de Dieu, and my each way selection, I think Missy Tata, if she runs, Missy Tata could, but yeah, Benny de Dieu is nearly a certainty. For me now, my local bookmakers, if you've looked at my videos before, you would really know what I'm going to say, but my local bookmaker, they were given 6 to 4 for her last week, and I was like, Jesus, that's too big to not to have something on. So I went on that, and yeah, I hope now that she does win it. Yeah, I think, yeah, just in terms of to rate her chance of winning, I give her 9, definitely 9. In terms of, just to go back to Appleshade, I'd give her an 8, and a good 8, and it'd be a very confident 8. Like, yeah, and then the National Hunt, I don't really. I've looked at my other video, and you'll know what I think of that. But we'll go OK Corral, I think it'll win, but I'm not really going into it too much. We'll go on to the Tuesday, or go on to the Wednesday. We're going on to the Wednesday now. Start off with the Ballymore. Obviously, start off with the Ballymore. This looks a really competitive renewal as well, if Classical Dream does show. If you have Champ, Battle of Ryan and Classical Dream, and you still have City Island, I don't think Birchdale will go. But yeah, for me, I would have rather Aramon come here and Classical Dream go to the Supreme. But look, that's what they say. They must think Classical Dream has a better chance of winning the Ballymore than Aramon would. And I can see, yeah, I could see it. Yeah, fair enough. For me, the selection is Champ. I'm looking at 11 to 4 here. 11 to 4 is a solid enough price. he deserves to be favoured. He deserves to be favoured. Battle over Diane, he done nothing wrong in winning that race, but was it that? Could you really get the form of that race? I know Chance race, the form isn't like, it's not gonna, you're not gonna have him at any shorter really, other than two. Like if he was shorter than 2-1, I'd be saying no, he's not worth value, but he could be worth value here. My each way selection is definitely Classical Dream. He has to be the each way choice. I know 6-1 isn't really an each way selection, but I think it is. I think it is. Because you're looking at the rest of the field, and I'm looking at it here, and they're not really looking at it. Maybe if you think Battle Over Diane has a good chance of winning this race, maybe give Sam's Profile a little squeaky each way at 14-1. But I can't really. I'd be surprised now if the three of them show up. If Champ, Battle Over Diane, and Classical Dream, if the three of them show up, I'd be surprised, very surprised if anything else could beat them. Really. Yeah, for me, I think Champ will win, and my each way selection would be Classical Dream, but Champ would be maybe a 7 or an 8, given it the confidence in him. 11-4 is a good enough price. It's fair. Like Battle Over Diane, the three of them have every chance of winning the race, but Classical Dream is you're just going on. I feel for him, you're going on because it's William Mullins, because Ruby will be riding him. I think that's kind of why you'd be siding with him, because he's won a 2-mile race in Leopardstown, and that's the Ballymore isn't 2 mile. So fair enough if he does go up, but for me it is Champ. Now we're on to the RSA. This is another very competitive race, and I can see Delta Work is finally favoured for this race at the firm that I'm looking at 5-2. Santini at 3-1, and Top of the Game at 4-1. Other than that, again, it's kind of like the Ballymore. I'd be surprised if anything else beats them. I hope the three of them do show up and go for this race, because it'll be such a good race. I thought Delta Work was the selection, and he still is my selection for this race. It hasn't changed. I think Santini is a good horse, but he hasn't shown enough to be a worthy favourite and to go on and beat Delta Work. He may do it on the day, but for me, Delta Work is the selection. At 5-2, yeah, it's not great value now, considering he was 3-1 and whatever. Like, still with Santini and Top of the Game confirmed to go for it, I'd say there's a lot of support for it, and I'd say the Irish will be getting into Delta Work, and I could see I'd say you could start favourite, to be honest. Top of the Game, I haven't touched on him. I'll touch on him now. He's a very good chance. I know. I think he beat Santini in that race in Kempton. I know they didn't win the race, but he beat him. I think Top of the Game has every chance of winning this race. But my selection is Delta Work, and I'm still sticking with Delta Work. To give you an outsider, really, I don't know, really. Maybe on the blind side, but I don't know if he's going to run. I haven't really looked into him too much, but he was an okay hurdler. Yeah, but Delta Work for me is the selection. I know he is favourite, and you don't really want to hear me telling you to back a favourite or whatever, but I think he wasn't really favourite until this week, just this weekend gone by. So yeah, he's okay. Yeah, but any three down could win it. Delta Work confidence wise, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I think he will be very close to winning it. So yeah, he will give you the run for your money. Champion Chase is just Altior. It's just Altior, but I look at the market without, just in case someone wants to have a bet on it. Personally, I'd have him in the Altior in the doubles and the trebles or whatever, but I wouldn't have a single bet on this. Like, you have him in at evens, footpad 15-8. I know if I was to have the two of them, I'd back footpad at 15-8 over him in at evens. I hope they do take footpad on with Altior, or they put footpad to take on Altior, because Min has already been there and he's already been battered. Even last year, that was Min's chance to win it, and Altior just still told him to fuck off. Like, I can't. If Min beats Altior, Jesus, Altior would have to do something wrong with Altior if Min actually does come up and beat him. I was like, footpad last year, he was very, very impressive. So let him take his chance and see actually how good he is. I know he hasn't been great this year, but I'm sure he'd be fairly wound up for this race. And at 15 to 8 is okay. Other than that, you could see St. Calvados or Simply Ned, but I don't. Maybe Surrey at 4-1 is fair enough price. But yeah, I wouldn't be too into that. We wanted the cross country because Tiger Roll is going to win the cross country. Everyone knows it. A lot of people are trying to. There's a few people that are saying that this Over and Yar or Joseph's Orders or Last Samurai might actually throw something. The only horse that I could possibly give it a sweet to is Urjan de Gregan, because last year he gave him a good run. He gave him a good test, and fair enough, like he did get close enough to him. Tiger Roll, boys, I can't underestimate or can't stress this enough to you. He's a machine of a horse. He's a machine. I know the cross country is a dodgy enough race, but I think he'll win it and win it handy enough. He might get tired at the end and he might just be plodding on or whatever like the national, but I think he will just be too good to be caught. I think he win evens. I don't know if it's a price. I don't know. Consider, like, I've backed him at 4-1, so for evens, I don't know. If you backed him at 2-1 or whatever, like, fair enough. At evens, I wouldn't be going straight in on him. I'd throw him in an accumulator or something. Looking at the champion bumper. We'll move on to champion bumper. There's no real each way. So yeah, Urjan de Gregan would be my each way selection for the cross country, and confidence wise on Tiger Roll is definitely a 9, very close to a 10. But yeah, we'll go on to champion bumper now. I'd advise us again, just fucking watch this and look at it for Cheltenham or for Punchestown or Aintree, because last year is bad enough, like, and the year before, like, Fiona fucking didn't want to start and still bolted in, like. I think Blue Sari at an each way, like, you go back at each way and hopefully he can get the job done. Envoy Allen is good, don't get me wrong, but a 3-1 is a fair enough price considering he's actually done fairly well in the bumpers. But your Blue Sari, like, is, you don't know what it's going to be, and you don't know really, you can't really judge the form of these bumpers unless you're looking at the race and you're like, "Jeez, this is good," or else you're looking at the speed, or like you're clocking the times or whatever. But I think Blue Sari at 4-1 is okay. I wouldn't be backing it, but confidence wise would be another like a 6 and 8. No, really each way. Maybe Mount Leinster, because Mount Leinster was very impressive his first run. Other than that, it wasn't really that impressive. We'll go on then to Thursday. Yeah, and if when you get to Thursday, you're starting to realise she's nearly over. It's halfway there, like, it's going downhill, like. Hopefully you're up money from the first 2 days and you're just still have the appetite going for the last few. Just to start off with the JLT, I think this is going to be I think it's kind of a 2-horse race really between Deafy Desai and Lost in Translation. I do hope Deafy Desai goes for this race, and hopefully does actually go and win the race. I think he is the best horse in it. You could have Glen Forsa who might go for it, but I think the Arkle, you have to go for the Arkle, like, after destroying Kalashnikov. Lost in Translation could win it if he will have a very, very strong chance if Deafy Desai does not go for this race. I think it'd be between the two of them, and I think Deafy Desai would win it, but it depends on if he goes or not. I hope he does go. I think they are kind of leaning still to the JLT. But yeah, Lost in Translation is a very, very solid shout if Deafy Desai doesn't go. My selection is Deafy Desai. Whether I be confident or not, if we'll presume he runs, right? We'll go if he runs. I give him an 8 because there's not really that much that's going to challenge outside. Maybe if Mengele can goes, but he's not really jumping well. Actually, I see it in here, and I think I heard William Mullen say that Forza Rev is they're thinking of putting him into JLT. I hope he does go, because I think the JLT will suit him, and I think he could actually go very close at 14 to 1, and it would be my each way selection in this race. Maybe Camellia the Cot, but if Waldrev shows up, I think Waldrev has a great each way shout. We're on to the Ryanair now, boys. Whoever shows up between Min and Footpad, it's going to be a very, very strong renewal. I think Road to Respect could go for this. I'm not sure. I think I heard it or read it somewhere that they're thinking of throwing him into this instead of the Gold Cup. But like, you have Frodo Armand Lee, who was very impressive, but he didn't really beat too much. Under Soul could go for this race as well. You have the likes of Top Notch. You know, it's going to be a competitive race, whatever. Whoever shows up. If looking at it, say if Min shows up, I would side with Min. If Footpad shows up, I'd be torn between Monley and Footpad, but I'd probably go down on the side of Footpad, because I think Footpad could be very good over this distance, but I would much rather him take on Altior. Yeah, and that's really all I have to say. Like, it's a very competitive race. If I was to put up an each way selection, I said Politolog at the start of the season, I'll just say him each way, because I don't really see anything else. Yeah, so look, we're going to the Stairs Hurdle, and now this could be a very, very good race as well. I know the Stairs Hurdle hasn't really been great. Like, last year wasn't brilliant. I'll be honest, it wasn't brilliant, even though I'm a massive fan of Penn Hill and all, but it wasn't a brilliant race. Like, I'm looking at 13 to 8 on Paisley Park for this year. That is too short. I think you might get 15 to 8 in a small bit, but you wouldn't be too much of it now, considering it's a week away. It is short enough, but I think he will win. I think Paisley Park will win it. Obviously, I see Faheen now with 7 to 2. I don't think that's a price at all. I don't think 7 to 2 Faheen is a price at all. I have backed him at 5 to 1. I thought that was okay for an each way selection, an each way punt, but you still have Sam Crow, who's, I think he's going to work tomorrow, and then they're going to make the decision whether he goes or not. I would love to see Sam Crow in it. I'd love to see him, and I'd love to see him back to his best, because I didn't fancy him at 2 mile after like the time he got beaten to Boofer there. After that, I didn't fancy him at all. I know he's been sick, I think it was, with the infection, but I think at 3 mile is his game, and I think he will put. I think he could put in a good performance. I think Bacardi's each way, if you're looking at the each way angle, he could. Ankle Brick and Storm is still there. I don't know if he goes underground. I'm not too sure on Kilbrick and Storm. I wasn't really considering him, just because he was chasing. So I don't really know. Yeah, but Cardi's is a good shout, and Kilbrick and Storm as an each way selection. Faheen is kind of no price anymore. So Paisley Park is kind of the selection. I know his price is a bit short, but I have a feeling he will back up his form, and he will do a very good performance. He is a very solid horse, but again, going back to last year, Sam Spinner was kind of the talk horse that the British were having. That was I know he's not in terms of the same. Paisley Park is obviously a better performer now, but he was the talk horse, and they were like, oh yeah, he's a great chance and all. I think Paisley Park will win the race. Would I back him at 13 to 8? Probably not. It's a bit short, considering Faheen could. I think Faheen is a great shout. At 7 to 2, I wouldn't back him at 7 to 2. But he could definitely show up, and he was very close to Appleshade when he fell at Leopardstown. And his run in Punchestown, like, I was there. I backed Penn Hill to place. I had him in the accumulator, which was fine for me. But Jesus, Faheen was brilliant that day. He was brilliant. Yeah, I think as my selection is Paisley Park. My each way selection is now it's going to be Bacardi's each way for the Stairs Hurdle, and that's the Stairs Hurdle done. We go on to the Mayor's Novices Hurdle. I think it's going to be it's close enough to a 2-horse race really, with Epatante and Honeysuckle. I think Honeysuckle is very impressive in Ireland, and I think Epatante is very, very impressive in Britain as well. And I think the two of them, I know there's money coming in for Epatante now. You can look at it there. There's a difference. Epatante is under 2-1, and Honeysuckle is 11-4. Like, I think it was last week they were 5-2, the two of them. So the market is speaking. I'd be tempted Honeysuckle now, just the price. But yeah, Epatante I think could be very good, and Honeysuckle as well. And I think the two it'll be a very, very good mare that actually comes out and beats the two of them if there is one. And I don't think there is. I think this could be a going between the two of them. I think there won't be too much between them, and if there is, it'll be one of them that'll win it. My selection is Epatante. Will I back her now at 15-8? I don't know if I back her now. I'd probably wait till the day and see what price she is then. If she's anything shorter than 6-4, I wouldn't be really looking too into her. But yeah, I think Epatante could be the selection. You'd want to see what actually does show up and go against her. But yeah, I think it's between the two of them and Epatante for me. Somehow we've made it to the final day, and if you're still watching this, fair play to you. Like the video, subscribe if you want as well. I think it's only a three races on the final day for me, because other than that I don't really obviously I'll watch it and all, but I don't really have much interest into it after these three. We'll start off with Trying Turtle. I think it's Sir Eric, and Sir Eric will like the confidence in this horse. I have so much confidence in him, and he'd be close to a 9 out of 10 for me easily. He's jumping well enough, and his performance against Tiger Tap Tap the second time around was very impressive. Can Tiger Tap Tap get closer to him? Maybe he can, and a 10-1 is not a bad price, but I think Sir Eric will step up again. Like, you looking at his flat form, and Stradivarius is a very solid horse. Like, he's a machine of a horse. What am I saying? He's a solid horse. He's a machine. And Sir Eric was close enough to him. I know. Yeah, jumping and flat is a different game, and he's impressed me. The changeover isn't brilliant. Like, it's hard enough to change as a 4-year-old, but he's doing well, and I think Fakir Duderies is going to go for Supreme. Hopefully, be a bit of a fuck up if they didn't and had the two of them running in this race. Kildestan at 6-1 is probably the best form from the British side, but I couldn't really have him. Yeah, I'm just going to move on because I think it's Sir Eric. The Albert Bartlett I wouldn't be too interested in. I think Liskin and Oscar deserves to be favourite. Maybe Commander Fleet each way, and Relegate or Aloha. There is talk about this horse, and I think Mullins is they're strong in their views of him, but I think Relegate could run a big race in that. And then for the big one, I'm going to go for Presenting Percy. I see now Clan was joint favourite with him, but in terms of a horse that's going to get you there, it's going to be Native River. Native River will get you very close to winning the race, but I think Presenting Percy just has the class. I think he has the class, and he will stay. And other than that, yeah, I can't make a case too much. Maybe Thistlecrack each way, but yeah, that's really it. I know I've rushed through the last day, but it's not, in punting wise, it's not brilliant. They're my selection. Presenting Percy will win the race, hopefully. Yeah, look, that's Cheltenham. My nap is Tiger Roll. And the horse that I am really looking forward to seeing is, well, it's Lorena, Appleshade, and just a Champion Hurdle. That's the rest I want to see. Hopefully everything goes great, and I hope everyone, if you're against me, I hope you don't win. Look, I hope everyone has a brilliant week, and I hope you enjoy everything. If you have a winner, enjoy the fuck out of it. If you have a loser, fuck it, look, you won't be the only one that loses on the day. Yeah, best of luck to everyone. Best of luck. It's a long, just a bit of advice, it's a long 4 days. Make sure you do not lose your head on the first day or the second day. Even if you are down, just fucking keep going, keep grinding in, and you'll come up on top, hopefully. Listen to a few channel previews or whatever, and just keep down how they feel about the horse. Listen to what they're saying, and yeah, best luck to everyone. Again, just best luck. I hope everyone has a great week, and I hope plenty of winners fly in for you. I'll go through. I'll just run through my naps for each day. The first day will be Benny de Dieu. It has to be. Second day it has to be Tiger Roll, but I have very strong fantasy on Delta Work. I'd be surprised if he's not in the top 3. Third day, I'll go Epatante. I think Epatante actually, considering it's her or Honeysuckle, I think Paisley Park has enough on his plate if Sancro goes. I don't know if he will be in that. And the last day is Sir Eric. I can't see by Sir Eric at all, and I think in the Gold Cup presenting Percy will get the job done. I think he will. I have full faith in him altogether. Yeah, that's it really. Hopefully everyone wins. I know it won't happen, but hopefully you have a great week. And look, that's it, yeah. Like, subscribe if you like it, and I will do more for Aintree and Punchestown for the flat season as well. And that's it. See you.